Hi, my name is Rachel Tsionov, and this is my professional developmental site. If you look at my homepage, you will see an introduction of the various topics that are on my page, such as differentiated instruction, IEP, RTI, and so on. On the bottom, you will see quick links. Let's click on some and see where it leads us. The first quick link that I have is Summit Math. If you click on it, it will lead you to a page that has various different types of math tests. Now, what's so great about Summit Math is the fact that you could take these tests over and over, and it has various different topics, starting from comparing six-digit numbers, going to multiplication, division, converting Celsius to Fahrenheit, and many, many different topics for different grade levels and age levels. Now, another great thing about Summit Math is the fact that you can write the date in which you took it, you can write the score, and you could even leave comments saying if the test was easy, if it was difficult for you, so the student could always go back and retry the test again. Another quick link I have is my own professional math test on subtraction. I made a math test using ProProfs.com. You enter your name, and you start taking the test. 23 minus 15 equals 8. Is it true? Is it false? The child would click the answer and press next, which would lead to the next question. And of course, they could take these tests over and over and over. If you go to the next quick link, it's a flip book of the NYSED Sample Science Test, Grade 4. The great thing about a Ublisher is the fact that every child can see it. It looks like the real book. It zooms in so that every child can see it, and it's very clear. You could zoom out again, and you could keep flipping the pages. It's very neat, it's very orderly and organized. Now, this is another flip book which I have made on differentiated instruction, which we will be going to later once I talk about this topic of differentiated instruction. And the last quick link that I have is about a survey which I have made about my scientific method, which we will be going to later on as we go through my page. If you look on the left-hand side, you will see the sidebar with many different special education topics, such as IEP, UDL, RTI, differentiated instruction, and inclusion. Let's click on IEP. Now, on the right-hand side, you will see two videos by a man named Gary Mayerson explaining IEP. If you look on the left-hand side, you will have information about what is an IEP, who needs an IEP. You will see a link that has 13 different disabilities in which a child can have who will need an IEP. This also has the important steps to an IEP process, the 5 different steps. This page is very informative on an IEP, and you can always go back to it. Let's click on differentiated instruction. Now, differentiated instruction, if you look at the picture, you will see that the teacher is saying that all these animals should climb that tree. Now, if you look at the animals, you will see that there is an elephant, there is a fish, there is a frog, and of course, these animals can't climb the tree. So what does this mean? Just like in a classroom. In a classroom, you have different kinds of students who have different kinds of needs and who all learn very differently. And it is our job as teachers to incorporate differentiated instruction in our lesson plan. If you look down, you will see many bullet points on differentiated instruction. You could definitely read it. It's very informative, You could also look at the video on the right hand side about the teaching methods of differentiated instruction. If you look at the sidebar again, let's go to My Math Lesson. Okay, my math lesson was about rounding to the nearest 10. Rounding to the nearest 10. On the bottom, you could see a video of me giving a math lesson. On the right, you will see my lesson plan, which was written in the style of a UDL template. This is in the style of a UDL template. It has a lesson overview, the goals, the methods, and assessment. Part of my lesson was a video from brainpopjr.com. You could definitely click it and see the video. On the bottom, as an attachment, you could see my math worksheet, which I would give to the students. Basically, the directions say, please round each number to the nearest tens. Okay, if we go back to my sidebar, we will go to my science lesson. We already, under my math lesson, there's Summit Math, which I explained before. You could feel free to click it again. Let's go to my science lesson. My science lesson, again, has the UDL template. My lesson plan was about air pressure and how air pressure can cause water to rise like a vacuum. If you could definitely read about it, and if you could look at the video, you could click on it. Hello class, today we're going to run an extremely exciting experiment, where we are going to show you how to go against gravity by using air pressure. Now you can see more of the experiment. Let's continue. On the left hand side, you will see scientific method. Okay, now on the right hand side, the first thing you will see is my scientific method survey. My scientific method survey was about the number of languages spoken in a household. Basically what each person would do is fill out the information, and this information would go straight to a spreadsheet. And I would gather the information and make a conclusion based on the information which I have received. This is excellent for children to do as well. These are the different, this is the process of the scientific method, the different steps that they would have to, that the child would have to take. And this is more information about scientific method, which you are able to read if you would like. Okay, there's a link for Mr. Wizard, which has many different science videos, many different science projects which he has done with different students, which is a great way for students to learn and actually do the experiments in class, at home. NYS State Assessment. This is a math test for grade 3. I have copied about 10 questions and made a YouTube video on how exactly to solve these problems. The child can come and click play and see the video exactly. Okay. The last thing I have on my page is the SWD workshop. This is a test that Professor Stein had made. It's a quiz to increase your knowledge and help prepare you to take the CST disability test. The test isn't long, but you could take it over and over each time, and there are different questions with explanations for the answers. If you click on this, you enter your name, your ID, and your email, and you click Start. Let's do that right now. And you can see that you could take, that you have the question, and you can click on the answers and you press Next. At the end, you get a mark, and if you're not happy with your mark, you could always take the test over again and get a better grade. The good thing about it is that it is very repetitive. which is always great for kids. For example, I got 100, but I got 100 after I took the test 2 or 3 times. So again, it's very repetitive and it's excellent for children to learn. Let's go back to my home page. Thank you for joining me and looking through my professional developmental site. I hope it was very informative, and you are always welcome to see it again. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.